This is one of the greatest thrift store hauls I have ever had in almost 30 years of thrifting. I still can't believe it. I've just come in from the thrift store and I was like, get this on camera. I haven't even taken this stuff out of the bags yet. I thought I'd do that for you guys, with you guys here. Here's the deal. Oh, hey, but welcome to Cereal at Midnight. I'm Heath Holland. We're going to talk about some really great thrift store deals in this episode. It was the Salvation Army. These are the details. It was the Salvation Army. It's the one I filmed at for the last thrift store video that we did. Was that number 28? I don't even remember. And all this stuff was, it's like basically what I got was somebody cool's complete CD collection. Like I feel like maybe somebody passed or I don't know. But you can tell all this came from one person. I think maybe even the DVD, there's DVDs in here. I think even those came from maybe the same person. So listen, without further ado, let's just rip into this and we can put it all together at the end. Here, save the receipt for later here. You're going to see a theme here. You're going to be like, oh, these are all kind of the same. Waylon Jennings, this time. A huge 60s, 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s country fan. Merle Haggard and George Jones. Starting to see the theme. Merle Haggard and George Jones. Shooter Jennings, the Wolf. Now, Shooter Jennings is Waylon Jennings' son. It must be a heck of a thing to grow up with your dad being one of the outlaws, one of the original country outlaws. The guy that sang the theme song for the Dukes of Hazzard. Those are some boots to fill. Anyway, this is the 2-disc version of The Wolf. We've got the CD on one disc. It's a CD and DVD combo. What else do we got here? Waylon Jennings was just I've always been crazy. Yeah, I've always been crazy. Waylon Jennings, are you ready for the country? Waylon Jennings, Honky Tonk Heroes. You get the theme now. It's all outlaw country and stuff from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Heavy emphasis on 60s and 70s. Merle Haggard, 40 #1 hits. I got to see Merle Haggard before he passed. He was on a double bill with Willie Nelson. And I got to see him while he was still with us. Shooter Jennings' first album, Put the O Back in Country, excuse me. Great record. This has Daddy's Farm on it. If you're not familiar with Shooter Jennings, go listen to Daddy's Farm. And you just know, like, that's Cereal at Midnight's, just a Cereal at Midnight recommended. Van Morrison at the movies. So for people that were like, this guy he only listens to the country? Trio, Dolly Parton, Linda Ronstadt, and Emmylou Harris. This is great stuff. There's a great Linda Ronstadt. Like, Dolly's having a moment right now, but there's a great Linda Ronstadt documentary. I think it's called The Sound of My Voice, and they talk a little bit about that. It's highly recommended. Merle Haggard, Mama Tried with Pride in What I Am. This is a two albums on one CD. This is Go Christmas with the Rat Pack. This is a compilation. It is 21 songs by Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra. Merle Haggard and the Strangers. This is I'm a Lonesome Fugitive and Branded Man. Here's the thing. I have a lot of this stuff on vinyl, vintage vinyl. I'm glad I have this now. I can rip it to my digital collection, throw it on my phone, whatever, and like kind of preserve my vinyl so I'm not continuing to... every play, it's a little bit less than what it was, right? Merle Haggard's Sing Me Back Home and The Legend of Bonnie and Clyde. Waylon, Dreamin' My Dreams. Merle Haggard, Cheatin'. Christmas Cocktail. This is what's it called? The Ultra Lounge. There was an entire series of Ultra Lounge records. A few dozen, not records, but CDs. They're from Capitol. They kind of came out of that swing revival of the mid-90s that swingers came out of. I was an impressionable teenager at that time, and I got really into that whole thing. Brian Setzer Orchestra. I got to see Bob Dylan in 1998 with Brian Setzer Orchestra opening for him. It was a great show, and it was just really cool. But it's exotica. It's lounge music. It's exotica, and this is Christmas tunes. They got volume 1 around here somewhere. I'm going to set this aside for a second. This is the Merle Haggard Cheatin', because it's part of a bigger thing. Redheaded Stranger, Willie Nelson. Merle and Willie, Pancho and Lefty. All the fella always say they could have had him anytime. Nat King Cole, the Christmas song. This is kind of a bonus, but it was like, these were $2. They were $2 each. I was like, I'll take that for $2. George Jones, my very special guest. This is a 2-disc legacy edition of duets. George Jones and other very notable people. Waylon Jennings, James Taylor, Emmylou Harris, Linda Ronstadt, Tammy Wynette, Johnny Paycheck, Elvis Costello, Mavis Staples, Pop and Mavis Staples, Ricky Van Shelton, Patty Page, B.B. King, Loretta Lynn. Ooh, 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 it's too hot to touch, y'all. It's too hot to touch. Willie Nelson, Pretty Paper. What is it? Pretty Ribbon or Pretty Paper? Pretty Ribbon. Pretty Paper. By the way, as I'm recording this, Willie Nelson is still with us. I know that won't be the case forever. Knock on wood. But my goodness, I love that man. And he has been, like, he is just a boss. He's just the best ever. This is a curiosity. I collect Beatles covers. And you're going to see more of that soon. This is the Canadian Brass, All You Need Is Love. And it's all Beatles covers. And you know what? It's got, first of all, it's got fun disc art. I can tell there's something under here too. It's like a little secret. So I'm going to pop this off. Cool. Haven't listened to it yet. Haven't listened to any of this stuff yet. I just came from the thrift store. I did not film in the thrift store because, like I said, I was just so worried about, like, I saw a Willie Nelson CD and I was like, well, you don't see that in thrift stores. And then I saw another one, and then I saw another one, and then any idea about filming just went right out of my head. Willie Nelson, Phases and Stages. We're getting into some earlier pre-outlaw stuff, or right on the cusp, one of the stuff that made him outlaw. Shotgun Willie. Yesterday's Wine. Merle Haggard and the Strangers. This is the Strangers and the Swinging Doors and The Bottle Let Me Down. So excited just telling you guys about this. Willie Nelson sings Chris Christopherson. Does it get any better than that? Oh, I'm dropping stuff. Merle Haggard and the Strangers. Hag with Someday We'll Look Back. Again, I got a lot of these on vinyl, vintage vinyl, but I'm kind of trying to preserve them so that they don't get, Okay, Merle Haggard, Prison. Merle Haggard, Hurtin'. Merle Haggard, Drinkin'. These are all, they join cheatin'. It's a set. You guys see that? It was a 4 CD concept. Like, how would you even describe that? Concept run? A concept era? All right, let's take a break from the outlaw country for a second. Simon & Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water. This is the 2-disc version. One is a CD of the album. One is a DVD. One of the discs is a DVD. Songs of America originally aired on CBS and unavailable since the 1969 broadcast. This TV special is comprised of footage of the 1969 tour, intimate backstage conversations, historic news footage, and more. And then The Harmony Game, a brand new documentary about the making of Bridge Over Troubled Water, featuring 2010 interviews with Simon, with Garfunkel, and with the principals involved. I love that. I remember being at a thrift store. It was probably 97, because I remember I had gone after I got out of school that day, and I found like Simon and Garfunkel at the thrift store, and I ran into someone from class coming. I was coming out, she was coming in, and she saw my stuff, and she was like, "Oh, Heath, you're so like." It was like you're so strange. It's like, so I've always been this way. Patsy Cline, The Definitive Collection. Boom! Wanted, The Outlaws. This is the entry point for outlaw country. It's Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Jesse Coulter, and Tom Paul Glaser. This has the Tom Paul Glaser song, Put Another Log on the Fire, which I think is fantastic. It's hilarious. Check it out. This is an expanded edition, too. It's the 20th anniversary edition with a whole other section. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 tracks that weren't on the original LP, and then a new song called Nowhere Road with Waylon and Willie. We're still going. Merle Haggard, Chicago Wind. All right, switching it up. Van Morrison, Moondance. Got it on vinyl somewhere, now I got the CD. Van Morrison, Astro Weeks. Van Morrison, his band and the street choir. Willie Nelson, Stardust. Waylon, the Ramblin' Man. I got to do I got to take stock of my collection now, because at this point, there are 4 releases from the parent company is Cherry Red Records. I can't remember the sub-label, but they are 4 Waylon albums on 2 CDs each. So the 4 albums and the 4 CDs have 8 Waylon albums, and it's all his early stuff. No, 16. Yeah, 16. 4 times 4. Yeah, 16. Yeah. I'm excited. And I have a lot of Waylon already. So I think I might have everything now. Oh, this is probably my favorite, believe it or not. Lonesome, Ornery, and Mean. On a Greyhound bus, Lord, I'm traveling this morning. I'm going to Shreveport and back to New Orleans. Old Waylon. Waylon Live. This is a 2 CD set. Johnny Paycheck. You know what? If you don't like all this stuff, take this job and shove it. Don't do that. I'm just kidding around. Hey, we got a third shooter. This is the Shooter's first 3 albums. This is Electric Rodeo. Is this one disc? It's a 1-discer. We got a 1-discer here. Boom. Waylon and Willie. This is the one with Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. All right, the last 3 things here. You know that a couple of years ago, I unboxed Gunsmoke, the complete series. I've also covered Bonanza, the complete series here. But the thing about Gunsmoke is I think that box set, and I got to double check because I haven't even looked yet. I haven't even pulled my Gunsmoke off the shelf. But it didn't have the movies that wrapped it all up. And look, at the thrift store, they're still sealed. These are I don't even remember how many there were. There's 3 here. Three Gunsmoke. It's like the reunion, the wrap-up movies, reunion movies. I think they're from the 80s. Gunsmoke, Return to Dodge. Ooh, it's rated R, you guys. It's rated R. I guess they're not showing that on the Hallmark Channel. 1987. From CBS. Hold on. What the... rated R for some violence. That's what it says. Rated R for some violence. Full screen format, Dolby Digital. To the Last Man. It's not The Last Al. It's To the Last Apache. And To the Last Man. I think this is it. I think these are all 3. Return to Dodge, The Last Apache, and To the Last Man. You guys, I think I just completed my Gunsmoke collection. Now, what if it was already complete? But if that's the case, whatever. Whew! So, 49 CDs. I did put some stuff back because I spent $107. I think I got the receipt right here. Yeah. 3 CDs. He rounded me up. He didn't even ask. He just did it. 3 at $2.99, which is what the DVDs was. 49 at $1.99. The CDs used to be $1. Now they're $2. I'm not going to complain. It's inflation, right? And it's for charity. I've got to be honest with you guys. I was hoping when I took this huge stack up there that they'd be like, how many you got? And I'd be like 49. They'd be like 35 or something, but they didn't do that. And he rounded me up 52 cents. So $107. I have a huge collection of outlaw country and Simon and Garfunkel and Van Morrison and that Beatles brass band cover. I am stunned. I did not film in the thrift store for reasons I told you, but I did take a couple of shots, a couple of photos, because I had to go through everything. So I brought it all over to like the couches, and I sat there, put everything on a table, and just like went through it, looked at the disc. I put back a bunch of George Jones, and I know, right? I know. I'm already regretting it, but I'm like, how much more would I could have spent? They had at least 20 George Jones albums, and I was like, well, I know I love Waylon is probably my favorite. Willie and Waylon and Merle are like, they're like the top of the mountain. Johnny Cash, right? They had one greatest hits. It was like Johnny Cash is essential Johnny Cash. I have the box set, the Columbia box set that has like everything. I have the RCA box set too. I put George Jones back. Lucinda Williams, you guys. They had a bunch of Lucinda Williams. I put it back. And now I'm like, did I do the right thing? I spent over $100 and I'm cheap. That's the thing, is like I'm cheap. And I was like, I want to get this 50 or under. So I put back Lucinda Williams and George Jones, and I put back, there was something else I put back. What was it? And I'm kind of doubting myself. It won't be there when I go back. If I went back, it wouldn't be there. So look, you never know. Happy thrifting, right? You got to, like, this is the carrot that will keep me going back to these thrift stores, because you just never know. And since the last video, which was it like a month ago, it was completely new inventory, like completely turned over. I didn't see anything familiar. So it's out there. People are getting rid of this stuff. I don't know what happened here. I kind of feel bad for the family of whoever. I'm like, did they die? What happened? And why did they, like, this would have sold for hundreds of dollars on eBay. I'm not going to flip it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to listen to this stuff and enjoy it, because I love me some of this classic music. But it's just like the value is there. So happy thrift store hunting, charity shops. It's all out there. Let me know what you're finding out there. I'm so excited. I don't even know how to stop talking. I don't know how to end this video. Guys, thanks so much. Take care. Until next time, I will catch you later.